Hey guys, it's an absolutely brilliant warm fall day in November, and I thought this would be a perfect time to put together a potting soil mix that I wanted to try. So of course, as we know, all soil and mulch and all kinds of gardening supplies have gotten really expensive. And I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'll open up a bag of potting soil or container soil and it looks a lot like wood. So this is what I'm going to try, and this is an experiment, guys. I'll see how it works. In the fall, I'm going to prepare ahead and use 3 ingredients to try to make a potting mix. So I have all my ingredients here, and let me show you what I've got. I have got free, this is hard to show you, free coffee grounds from Starbucks. I went in asking for coffee grounds thinking I'd get a couple of small bags, and they came out with 2 garbage bags full of coffee grinds. Shout out to Starbucks. They support local gardeners, and they support not sending things to the landfill whenever they can. So they encourage people to come in and take the coffee grounds for their garden. And those were completely free. Two trash bags of completely free Starbucks coffee grounds. Then over here, I have a couple bags of premium wood pellets, and it probably doesn't matter what brand you get, but you have to look for an all-natural variety. You do not want any added chemicals or any binders or anything like that. This is meant for wood fuel, and it is compressed sawdust and wood pulp, and it's perfect for fire starting. But if you rehydrate it, you actually end up with quite a fluffy mix. So that's really going to be the base of my potting soil. I've opened up bags of potting mix, and it really looks like a bag of really finely shredded mulch. So I think this is going to come pretty close to what I've been using already. This was at my local Lowe's. This particular bag, 40-pound bag, was $7.98. So almost $8 for 40 pounds. I think that's quite a deal, considering I may get 3 or 4 bags of soil once I rehydrate it. I'd say that's a pretty good return. And of course, whenever I'm at Lowe's, I always check the broken bags, and there was a broken bag of wood pellets, so that one was half price, and to me it looks almost full. So that's always a thrill when you can get a half price bag of whatever you're shopping for. One more thing to avoid about the wood pellets is don't get any of the fancy bags that have something like mesquite or cedar in it, because those very pungent woods are not going to encourage worm or even microbacterial growth, because they just don't seem to like those types of woods. And then my third ingredient is also free, like the coffee grounds. This is my weed brew, and I just keep adding mostly greens, banana peels, bananas, to water, and I just steep it, and it just breaks down into this really disgusting mix. It basically, let me get some water to show you, it turns into this liquid fertilizer that I water my plants with, and it's full of nitrogen and minerals. All the minerals that were in the leaves are now in the water. So I'm going to rehydrate my pellets with my homemade nitrogen fertilizer. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put 3 parts of the wood pellets with 1 part of coffee grounds and mix those up, and then I can add in and top off my bucket with my liquid nitrogen fertilizer, and if I need to, I'll just add some extra water. Now I've gone ahead and mixed my dry ingredients together, the used coffee grounds and the wood pellets, and I'm going to go ahead and put the remaining 2/3 of the bucket full. I'm going to fill it with my nitrogen homemade weed brew and go ahead And we'll see how long it takes to hydrate. But I'm basically giving it 2/3 of the bucket to expand, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to do equal parts in both buckets. See how nice and nutrient rich that looks. It's been sitting around so long it doesn't even smell anymore. When it's fresher and rotting down, it does tend to smell. Now this is going to be something I use outside. I will not be starting seeds indoors with this, just because if there's any bacteria in this part of the mix. I'm only getting the liquid, guys. Right away I can see it starting to expand. And once I use all of this mix, I'm going to go ahead and put more regular water in it from the hose all the way up to the top, because I think this compressed wood is going to need a lot of water for it to rehydrate. I'm actually amazed at how fast this is rehydrating and breaking down into smaller wood pulp. It's pretty amazing. So it's filled about half of the container with my weed brew. I used up all the liquid from there. Of course, I'll set it up again, but I'm basically going to fill this to the top, and this is going to give me a ratio of 2/3 water to 1/3 wood pulp and coffee grounds. I'll give it a little bit of room to expand above that. Just leave it at that. I think these are 5-gallon buckets, so that should work well. And if this works out well, I should have about 10 gallons of potting mix after it mellows. It's got to mellow for about 6 months. I'll go get some more water for that second one. But you let it sit for about 6 months, which is perfect timing for spring. And all of those items that you put in break down nicely, and you should end up with a good potting mix. And of course, if you ever plant in it and you don't think your plants are thriving, you can add other things in. All right, both buckets are full. We'll come back in a couple hours and see if the wood pulp is completely filling that bucket. Okay, it appears that maybe we have too much water in the mix. Let me show you what's going on down here. This is what it looks like, all broken up and mixed in with the coffee. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put in maybe 2 more scoops of the wood pellet and try to sop up some of this water. Remember, guys, this is all an experiment, so we're just flying by the seat of our pants, really. But this should sop up a lot of that water, and this is very nutritious water because this is my weed brew. So I'm going to put 2 more scoops of the wood pellets into each bucket, and we'll come back in a couple hours and see how we did with that. Okay, that seemed to do it. I added 2 more parts in each bucket of the wood pellets and half a part in each bucket of the coffee grounds. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this into my bin and maybe top it off with just a little bit more water. I'm going to sprinkle it in with 1 watering can's worth, and I'm going to let it sit till spring. I may come in and stir it up from time to time if it's not frozen, but let's see how much of a bin this fills. Well, I hope you didn't tune into my channel for precision. I went ahead and emptied the rest of the wood pellet bag, and this was the broken one, so I would estimate I used the entirety of 3/4 of a bag. And then I put a couple more scoops of the free coffee grounds in there. So guys, for about $4, which is what my open bag costs, I got an entire tub of what looks like a really nice fluffy material. And hopefully in 5 or 6 months this is really going to break down. Right now it's very fresh, probably very carbon rich, but over the course of time it should break down and mingle. Everything will mingle together, and hopefully it will become a nice potting mix for me to use for my seed starting out here. I want to do some winter sowing, and also this could be a good container mix. So guys, I think this is a way cheaper option and not to get altogether that hard. I am going to sprinkle it with a little bit more water and then cover it, and maybe come out from time to time and stir it a bit. But if it's outside, it could even freeze for a while, which also helps break down cell walls of organic materials. So I anticipate this could be a very good practice, and stay tuned. I'll let you know how we do with it next spring. So I hope you're having fun in your gardens and getting ready for next planting season as well. I'll see you next time.